Well, one day away from the national championship between my Texas Longhorns and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Rose Bowl. And first off, I want to say to all the Alabama fans, I do say good luck to your team, at least with injuries and stuff like that. I don't want you winning. And once again, I said it before. Um, how ironic is that when I say that I wanted other people to get on here and support their college team, Alabama fans showed up in droves, and their team answered, and had been playing some of the best football in the country. And I will say this to those who have said this, and it's true. At the first of the season and throughout the season, me along with other Texas fans, if we got to the championship, if you told us one team we wanted to play, it was the Florida Gators. And it was all for the simple fact of they had it last year and the whole Tebow thing. They beat Oklahoma last year, and we kind of wanted our shots at them. But I think it's an even better job if we can knock off the team that was able to beat them earlier in the season, to throttle them in an awesome manner. So, no, I don't think it's a step down to play Alabama. In fact, it's probably a step up. And I know a lot of talk has been about, I made that last video about the media and stuff, and some of you caught it as well. That was a video to get people riled up about the game. No, I don't think 2005 or media bias or anything has anything to do with this team. If there's one team that gets any hype that's not going to be affected by it, it's a team coached by Nick Saban. But I will talk about 2005 in this sense. Nothing about how it affects the game, but how I remember where I was. I was a junior in high school at that time. I've been a lifelong Texas Longhorns fan, and I remember, going and watching the game with a bunch of my friends. And I remember that night after it was over, and I went home, and I think I had chemistry homework. It was a Wednesday night. And I remember opening my chemistry book, and I was doing my homework. I did like 2 questions, and I closed and I said, forget this. I can't do this right now. And I remember, I don't think I remember staying up. I don't remember going to sleep that night. And I remember staying up and watching reruns of SportsCenter, just keep talking about the game and keep showing highlights. And I couldn't get enough of it. And in the morning, some of you know, like 5 o'clock in the morning, I went to Walmart and got some cheap roses and gave them to the Aggies and stuff just to jack with them. But when you're a hardcore sports fan, and when you've been not like a bandwagon guy who just kind of jumps around, but when you stick with the program or with the team your whole life, and they finally get on top for that one season, as a sports fan, there's nothing better in your sports life than your team to win that title. Now I am a junior in college. I was a junior in high school when we went last time. I'm a junior at UT now. And, we've only won 4 in our entire existence. And we've had a great history at Texas, but we've got 4 national championships. Just for the fact, if they could pull this off, and you could be at school, at the University of Texas, when they win one of those, that's pretty special. And I really hope that happens. Now, to talk about the game and the more insight about what I think can happen, it's been said enough, but it can't be said too much. The Alabama Crimson Tide has one of the best defenses in the country, if not the best defense in the country. And the offense is so balanced, it's really hard to form an attack around it. You hand it off to Ingram, and you try to stop that. That's a hard task in itself. And with McElroy, who is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country, and really with that tandem, I think, I've seen that when they pull that play action, McElroy is insanely good because you've got a Heisman winner back there. You're going to have to focus on him. He fakes it to him. Things are wide open, and McElroy's a good enough quarterback to make those plays. And as I said, I'll give you all the running back. Mark Ingram is the best running back that's going to be playing this game. And McElroy is a good quarterback. But once again, I'm taking Colt every day. And the dude's a proven winner. But to talk about the defense, though, I'm not going to concede that it's the best in the country. Because I think this Texas defense can't compete with that defense. And until the final whistle blows tomorrow night, I'm going to stay steadfast that Texas is a better defense. And we're going to find that out tomorrow. But I'm going to stick by my guns because I've seen these guys play. This is one of the best defenses we've had here at Texas. And it's a defense with a lot of veteran leadership at the linebacking core with Sergio Kendall off the side. But the secondary is so talented. And I really think the difference maker in this game, you've got Ingram on one side of the ball, you've got Colt over here. I think who's going to make the big play in this game is the guy who's making big plays for us all year. And that's the number 12 on defense, Earl Thomas. I think Earl Thomas, who's a ball hawk, but he's not just about covering and making interceptions. The guy can hit someone. His closing speed is almost second to none. I think he's going to come to play, and I think Muschamp is really going to form this defense around and stopping this Alabama offense. I agree with a lot of people. I think it's going to be low scoring, though I don't think it's going to be as low scoring as, say, our Nebraska game or the Tennessee game with Alabama, or even with our Oklahoma game. If you want to put a score on it, the one that I wanted to see, I said 23-20. Texas down by 4 in the end, and Colt hits Shipley for a touchdown pass. That's one of those fantasy picks, that would be great, a snapshot. But speaking of Jordan Shipley, he is our best offensive weapon. And without him, we're hurting. And I do think Alabama's good enough to adjust to him and double cover it and try to shut him down. And that's where Malcolm Williams and Kirkendall and Marquise Goodwin are going to have to step up. These guys were so great for us last year. And Marquise Goodwin's a freshman this year. If those guys can step up like they have before, when Shipley's not making the plays, when Shipley's not the go-to guy because the defense is focused on him, they have to step up. Malcolm Williams is your deep threat, and Kirkendall is your in-between kind of guy. Marquise Goodwin is a speed demon, and I think Colt McCoy. And here's the thing with the Nebraska game. Nebraska got pressure with their defensive line, with Ndamukong Suh and those defensive ends. Their linebackers stayed back in coverage. Now, Alabama has a great cover team. Defense good all around. But they do more of their blitz packages with the linebackers. Lon McClain and the other guy, I can't remember his name now. And even with Javier Arenas coming off the corner and whatnot, they like to switch things up on you and try to confuse the quarterback. If Colt McCoy can keep his head right and see those blitzes, I think he's the best quarterback there is at recognizing a blitz and hitting the wide receiver. And I think that is where Texas can win this game. If Colt can recognize the blitzes, offensive line can give him some time, Colt will be able to. There's not going to be many bomb passes downfield and quick scores. It'll be work every single drive. But if I didn't think this Texas team could beat Alabama when Alabama's at their best, then I wouldn't think they could win this thing. I think the Texas Longhorns are on the same playing level with Alabama, and I think they can get the job done. You got two different styles of teams. It's going to be awesome. I listen to Mac Brown. When you listen to Mac Brown, the guy, when you get done, listen to him talk, you feel like he should be running for president because, he's that diplomatic, and he makes you feel like you could vote for that guy. But I remember they asked, he talked about this game, and he said, what's so great about the national championship is that both teams have worked so hard all year, close calls or whatnot, they worked so hard to get to this point. And now you've got 3.5 hours to play the best football you could ever play. And then it gets decided on the field. And you get to leave it all out there. And if you get the job done, you get to be the best for the whole year. And in your college career, there's nothing better than that on a football team. I remember how it felt in 2005. This year, the players that were on the team at that time didn't play. They were on the sideline. Colt McCoy's on the sidelines and the guys like that. So this is their chance. Their chance to cement themselves in Texas history. And to play against a team in Alabama who has one of the best coaches in college football who will go down here, who Nick Saban's going to go into the College Football Hall of Fame. That's easy to know. But if you could be able to knock those guys off, come as a unit and win that game, that's something special. So I can't wait for the game. As I said, I think Colt's going to get knocked around a little bit, but I think he's going to get up and lead this team to victory. So Texas Longhorns fans, be proud of your horns. No matter what happens, they've done so great for us this year. One more time. Hook 'em horns and Texas fight. Let's get this one.